What's up? This is Chris Caffrey from Sabotage, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and Chris Caffrey, and you are watching CMS TV.
That's Queensryche here on the Classic Metal Show, and that's probably one of my favorite tunes there, Chris. Take Hold the Flame, and, Queensryche is out there burning like a flame. They're all over the world. They've had a lot of success here in the last couple of years with the release of Operation Mindcrime 2, and, they're a non-stop touring band. You've seen them a bunch of times, haven't you, Chris?
At least 15, man. Love Queensryche.
Yeah, so do I. Every time they come through the Chicago area, I'm always there. And one of the nicer guys in the band, not that they're not nice, but we've got founding member and guitarist of Queensryche on the line with us, Michael Wilton. Welcome to the Classic Metal Show there, Mike.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, Mike, Chris and I are big Queensryche fans. I've spoken to you personally on several occasions, actually, and you guys always put on a stellar performance. And, for probably the last 10 years, it seems like you guys are nonstop touring. And right now, you guys are over in, where are you at? You're in Europe?
I'm in England right now.
England?
I'm in, Bristol. And,
Mike, obviously, man, Queensryche has been... going strong since the release of Operation Mindcrime. It really has been nonstop, and it's interesting that the project not only, obviously people were going to be interested in it, but it really has seemed to take the band from where you guys were at probably a valley in your career and really raised your profile. For you in the band, has it been, as successful as you expected or more, or just where does it fit with what your expectations were when you put it out?
Well, because Operation Mindcrime is an epic album now, it's there's a high demand for it, and so we love touring on it and playing it, and of course it's doing well. This is the first time in Europe we've brought the full stage show over, so we're doing this as well as headlining festivals and playing festivals and just being all over Europe and England.
We both saw it. It's an amazing production to see. It takes the grandiose style of a play, but it doesn't take the rock out of it, which has been something that have plagued other artists that have tried to do that. I'm curious, for you as a musician on the stage, do you ever get so wrapped up in the presentation of it that it doesn't come off to where you're happy with the presentation of it? I guess what I'm trying to say is, does it ever take away from the music because it is such a grand thing when you're on stage?
I don't think so. I mean, it's a multimedia show, so, people can watch the musicians shred and lay it down, as well as see some of the acting that accentuates the music and the story. So it's both.
Excellent, Mike. Well, outside of Queensryche, you do another project called Soulbender. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Soulbender is more of a dark, heavier aspect of my playing that I've done in Seattle, and we put out a disc and have just done local touring and kind of weaved in and out of Queensryche's busy touring schedule, but there's been a nice demand for it.
Well, how do you separate what you do in Soulbender away from what you do with Queensryche? I mean, obviously, you have input on the Queensryche music and arrangement. How do you differentiate between the two?
Well, basically, Queensryche is a well-oiled, fine-tuned machine. Soulbender's a little more raw, and it's a bunch of guys in a room, and it's just kind of more like old school, and we just tear it up, and so that's kind of the differences.
Well, who else is in your band?
Well, right now on the new Soulbender disc, which will hopefully get out soon, I've got Tim Ripper Owens, who is contributing to the next disc. And then as far as drummers, I don't know yet who's going to drum on it. And then I've got my other guitar player friend, Dave Groves, who's a prodigy, and then a select bass player.
Hey, you. Why are you watching this with commercials? Go commercial-free and unlock exclusive content. Become a VIP today on Locals, Substack, or Rumble Premium. Stop waiting.
Well, with Soulbender, as you mentioned, obviously Ripper, best known for his work with Judas Priest. I'm curious, with you living out on the West Coast and Ripper living, right next door to me here in Ohio, how do you make that work? How do you get introduced to Tim, and how do you actually make music together?
Well, when we toured through his area, he came backstage and hung out with us, and I met him, and then I met him at the NAMM convention, hung out with him for a while, and, we just had talked, and, he's brought it up, and I said, okay, well, let's do it, and we've just been sending MP3s through the mail.
Does that make it then, when you get together and actually, if you guys get the opportunity to get together and rehearse and play some shows, does it make it that much more, intriguing? Because it probably takes a completely different life onto itself when you do it live versus doing it through technology, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's just kind of the starting points, feeling, how he likes the songwriting and, and how I like his voice and such as. And then when it gets to that point, as you said, that's when the magic happens.
Mike, obviously, bringing it back to Queensryche, you guys are touring this summer as you guys basically do every summer, pretty much throughout your career. But the one featured gig this summer, and the one that we wanted to talk to you about a little bit, is Rocklahoma. Obviously, this festival has gone from something that everybody thought would be a monumental flop to being the biggest thing, basically in the U.S. Are you surprised by the success of it?
I'm more intrigued, and I'm very happy that some promoters are taking the chance to really forge and bring back the festivals. I know this is a big insurance nightmare, but I think it's not a dying art. It's like something that's current that people want to see.
What is Queensryche going to bring to the table? Because obviously you guys don't necessarily fit the mold of what Rocklahoma is. I mean, you guys have always been a lot more, I'll say artsy, but that's probably not the best term to use, but you guys were never just bridge, chorus, bridge type of a band. You guys were always a much more cerebral, thought-out band than a lot of the bands that are on Rocklahoma. What do you think you guys are bringing to it this year?
Well, Queensryche is headlining the Sunday festival, and we just bring a different flavor to the whole festival, and as we did last time. And what we're going to do is Operation Mindcrime 1, so it should be a very, very fun event.
Well, Michael, you guys are constantly changing your set. I mean, you went out and did Operation Mindcrime in its entirety a couple of years ago. Then with the release of Mindcrime 2, you did Mindcrime 1 and 2 back-to-back. Then you did like a greatest hits thing, and now you're over in Europe doing the Mindcrime thing again. That's got to be pretty interesting to you as a musician, not to get stuck in the same old set list all the time, constantly changing it up for every tour that you do. Do you have to do a lot of rehearsal when it comes to changing the set list, or do you know the music so well that it becomes second nature to you?
To a certain point, there's a slight rehearsal, unless it's more of an obscure song. Then everybody has to go do their homework. But it's a business, right? So it's like if someone is really requesting Mindcrime 1 and that hinges the deal, then that's kind of cool. We can bend. And then we also like doing like the hit set, which we were playing songs from all the albums, and that really kicked ass on that tour, and that was really fun. So, and then we have a new album hopefully coming out the springtime next year.
Well, Mike, what is one of your favorite Queensryche songs to play that you don't mind playing again and again?
Oh, well, for Mindcrime, I love The Needle Lies. That's always a good picker-upper. And from Empire, I like Empire, playing that one live. That's always fun. It's always great to see the reaction from the fans.
Well, Mike, speaking of the fans, you guys put out a greatest hits release, last year, I believe it was, the Sign of the Times release, and it featured the song Justified, which featured I'll call it a cameo from Chris DeGarmo. Now, I'm sure you guys all know that, the second you do that, that gets everybody talking about, oh, DeGarmo's coming back and Mike Stone's going to be let go and this and that. Could that ever even happen, or are you guys just in a position now where, you guys are good and Chris is good with what he's doing and everybody's just happy?
Follow the chaos. The Classic Metal Show is live on X. Stream all the episodes for free, watch the show live every Saturday night, or just get there and find out what is going on with the Classic Metal Show. Get your metal feed, x.com/CMS Rocks.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for Chris, but he's pretty solidified in what he's doing right now. But I know he's still got his hands in the music industry, and he always throws in ideas once in a while. But I don't think it's a permanent fixture. It's like you said, a cameo, which is it just kind of gets his feet wet, keeps him still kind of in the business. But there's no plans of reuniting with him, unless he can make a serious commitment.
Well, Mike, when Chris left, and I don't want to harp on old news though, but when Chris left, obviously he was a key part of Queensryche. But when he decided to go on and pursue other ventures, you picked up a lot of his soloing parts. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're. Well, in the advent of bringing in different guitar players, the easiest thing, for people that aren't familiar with Queensryche's style of music and our writing, it's it can get kind of mind-boggling. And so the most expedient way to get things done was for me because I know Chris's parts or his style, and I can go back and I can listen and pick them up a lot faster than most people can. So it was easier for me to do that and then show the other guitar player my parts.
And just one technical question before we wrap up here, Michael. I noticed Mike Stone wears the headphone cans on stage. What's that all about?
Well, Queensryche, we use in-ear monitoring on the stage, and those are form-fitted ear molds by Sensophonics that goes in your ears, and they're right for most people, and sometimes when you sweat so much that they kind of come loose and they don't sound as good. So he opted to get rid of those and just wear these new isolation headphones that he likes, and I imagine they sound great, and he's very happy with it, and I guess it kind of fits the look as well.
Okay. All right, Michael. Well, we know you have a website out there. Why don't you tell people where they can find you on the web, be it a MySpace or your personal website or whatever?
Oh, yeah. I've got, there's michaelwilton.com. There's soulbender.com. And then there's MySpace/Michael Wilton. And then MySpace/Soulbender. And then I've got a little side clothing project, which is Whipwear, and you can find that on MySpace as well.
All right, Michael. Well, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to us here on the Classic Metal Show. Is there anything you'd like to, tell the fans that we haven't touched on?
Well, thank you, fans, for keeping the Queensryche machine rolling. And I tell you, I've been over here 4 weeks, and I'm missing the USA, so this is great talking to you guys.
Excellent, Michael. Well, Chris and I will always be front and center whenever you come through our town, and of course you'll be playing the stage there at Rocklahoma, so if you're heading out to Rocklahoma, catch Queensryche on the Sunday night show, and it should be a great time. So, Michael, I don't believe we've ever interviewed you on the Classic Metal Show, and we have a traditional Classic Metal Show question we ask everyone. How has Lemmy from Motorhead influenced your career?
I've ran into Lemmy many times at festivals, and he has a band called the Headcats. It's kind of a rockabilly thing, and he comes into Seattle, and I always go hang out with him and see him. But he's kind of influenced me to not do drugs.
Okay. All right, Michael. Again, we appreciate you taking the time out. Go see Michael at his websites and see him out on the road at Rocklahoma this year. And Michael, we always let the artist pick a closing song. So what would you like us to play? And maybe you have a little story about it.
How about Empire? Empire.
Okay.
And this song was actually recorded with a guy named Paul Northfield. And the phone message in the front is actually our old keyboard touring player from long ago named Random Damage Gain, which a lot of people don't know. And that is an actual phone message that's on there.
Excellent, excellent.
Nice.
All right, well, here it is. This is Queensryche with Empire from the CD of the same name, exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
Hey, metalheads. Tired of that halftime snooze fest? The one where they shove anti-American social justice lectures down your throat while Bad Bunny prances around? Yeah, us too. Forget that woke garbage. Flip the channel right now. We're going live at halftime Sunday, February the 8th, 8 p.m. to 8:30-ish Eastern Time. Neeley and Chris, uncensored, no holds barred, pure CMS debauchery. Real rock, real talk, real freedom. No filters and no fucking apologies. Stream it live on Rumble, Locals, Substack, and X. Just switch over from the game, ditch the bullshit, and join the party. The Classic Metal Show halftime show, because metal doesn't kneel, motherfucker.